Welcome back to the Rules of Engagement. We just finished up analyzing the MVP versus Feast series. We're now going to jump into the Q&A section, so I've got a couple questions here. The first question is going to be from Robert Adler, and it's, how do I know the best time to get vital upgrades like +2/+2, burrow, and baning speed with this strategy? And of course, I'm fairly confident talking about the strategy we talked about yesterday, Leenock versus Innovation, where Leenock was going very fast muleless in his play, right? So he's going 2 base, very fast muleless, delayed upgrades to get map control using those muleless. So the key thing there is that his economy is slower because his third is late. His upgrades are slow because evolution chambers are late, but he gets map control beginning muleless out very fast. And under that map control, he tries to take the map. But the important thing you have to do is if you open with that, you're cutting queens out, cutting creep spread. Normally what creep spread does is it slows the Terran advance because they have to scan as they push towards you. So you need an alternative way to slow the advance, which means you need to get burrow banings. If you go fast muta, if you go 2H muta, you pretty much have to get burrow banings. You see Leenock does it every time he does that build. And so you get burrow. Basically, as soon as your first mutas, you spend the money to get that first muta wave, then your next money is spent to research burrow. Very important not only to burrow the Zergian to slow the Terran third, but also to get those mines set up. You don't have to start it super early, so spend your first money to get as much mutas as possible. Then make sure your third's being started. Then make sure you get burrow. And then also while you're getting burrow, you're getting the double evo chambers, and you're progressing to your upgrades. So get the burrow banings first, and then once your map control is set up, just constantly crank out upgrades. So 2-2 and baning speed should roughly be started once your third is saturated. So as you're starting to saturate your third, you're starting 1-1. Your third's set up. You deflected the first attack. Then you start 2-2 and baning speed. Next question is going to be from Nicholas Carlson. And it's, how big is a threat of Widow Mines causing splash on friendly units when playing Bio Mines versus Zergling, Baneling, Muta? And that's actually a really good question. That's something you hear a lot of casters talk about. Oh, the mine did more damage to the friendly guys. And they sometimes do. It's not too common that they do that, though. It's actually not a huge threat. You'll see it happen sometimes, but it's a minority, even when you're not microing. So the important thing there is if you have Widow Mines that could potentially be activated, if you're you have to really quickly make a judgment. You see a few speedings running in. Can your bio kill those speedings before the Widow Mine gets activated, and thus you won't even shoot? If yes, don't do anything. If no, you should be kiting backwards. And if you kite backwards, there's a couple things could happen. One, the speeding could die while the Widow Mine's in midair, and then it'll hit where the dead body is, but your units will already be further back. They won't take splash. Or two, the Widow Mine will be hitting Zergians that are still trying to chase the Marines. It's less likely it'll hit your own guys. So if there's a horde of Zerg, kite backwards. A tiny bit of Zerg, kill them, and the mine won't even go off. So as long as you're kiting backwards, I wouldn't worry about that too much, but it does sometimes happen. Next question is going to be from SXG Infinity. Best aggressive build order as Terran against Zerg, please. So 2 racks is always great. You'll never see someone say, oh, he lost because he opened 2 racks TVZ. No, I mean, sometimes if you don't micro it well, you get out controlled, you're going to be behind, right? But if it's equal play on both sides, you're not going to be significantly behind, if at all. And you're going to win a lot of games if you get really good at microing. So double racks, TVZ, a great opening. If you want to see a game, I believe Flash did it a couple times at MLG MLG Winter Championship. So you don't see the top Terrans do it like every game, but they'll mix it in a couple times. So go ahead, watch some of Flash's games for the MLG Winter Championships. He mixed it in a couple times, and it was very effective when he did it. Do that one. If you want to do something that's a little more fun to mic around and maybe different units, try doing the Proxy Reaper build. You see, again, watch the videos from the MLG Winter Championships. A lot of pro Terrans have been doing that. They'll build their first barracks usually at about 12 supply, but they'll build it outside their base in the middle of the map. And then behind that, they'll build a factory, and they're going to constantly Reaper harass, and then they'll add a Helling to the mix and just have a fun time harassing a Zerg. You're rarely going to outright win a game with that build. If you want to see when it does happen, Innovation versus Leenock Game 1 from the Winter Championships, Innovation actually just beat Leenock straight out with that build. Leenock he was trying to tech too fast. His queens started dying. His Zergians died. All of a sudden, he had nothing left, and the drones all died. So look at that build. Leenock versus Innovation Game 1 from MLG is a really fun exhibition of how powerful Reaper Helling can potentially be. The next question and last question is going to be from Matthew McCohen. And it says, I noticed as Protoss, I rely too much on basic gateway and robo units. What's a good way to integrate Templars into my play? So, I would say in Heart of the Swarm, more so than Wings of Liberty, it's never, like, it was okay in Wings of Liberty to play this way too, but in Heart of the Swarm, Templar are even better, because feedback is more important against Medivacs, against Zerg, Mutalisks are more intimidating, and Vipers counter Colossi so well. It's not like Colossi are bad, but I'm just saying Templar is a much, much, much more viable and stronger way to open the game. So I would just try playing your next couple games. Don't even build Colossi at all. You just get your expansion, then you go to Templar, then you get your third expansion. It's that simple. You get your expansion, you start a Forge, and a Forge start an upgrade very fast. When the upgrade's about halfway done, you start a Twilight Council. The instant Twilight Council is done, you start the Templar Archives. Just go straight to it. Of course, you're saying, how do I get the gas? Because most of your army is charge lots. Of course, against Zerg, might be a little different. You might have to integrate Immortals against Roaches. You might want to go more Blink Stalkers. So you might get a Templar a little bit slower, maybe after the third base. Zerg, you know, third, then Storm. Against Terran, 2 base straight to Storm using charge dots as your primary unit. Protoss Mirror, I'd avoid Templar for now. They have a purpose, but it's much smaller purpose. I would just ignore them until you have a lot more experience. Anyways, this wraps up the Q&A section of Rules of Engagement. Thank you guys for your questions and your eyeballs. We'll be back tomorrow with Huck vs. Marine King at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Winter Exhibition Tournament, followed by another episode of Rules of Engagement. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.